Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up? Good morning, everybody. 16th of June. How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to be here. As always, man. What day 24th of Valheim today is? Yeah, that's the play, correct. Day 24 of Valheim. A lot of prep for tomorrow. Which is probably going to be final day of Valheim. Probably. We could run into Saturday a little bit. We'll see how it goes, though. I don't know. I hope everybody's day is going well so far. Let's go ahead and do what we do. Jump into our gaming news section. Yeah. Let's do it. Cool. Amazon Prime is giving away 30 games on Prime Day, including Mass Effect. Pull that up. We read this yesterday. We have that up. How to watch Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary showcase, I think is what that is. Okay. Jeff Keighley talks about the future of game events. Bring that up. I'm not going to dive into this. Apparently, Walmart is selling a Sonic the Hedgehog themed 3-in-1 gaming kit. We'll skim it real quick. What I'm assuming is this is a Walmart manufactured product. I wouldn't trust it in the first place, but we'll see what they say about it. Rockstar Games website goes dark, sending GTA 6 fans into a frenzy, I guess. Let's take a look, see what's up. Read that yesterday. If you're interested in what we had to talk about and read within this article, go check out yesterday's news segment on YouTube. We already talked about this as well. Basically, Microsoft is telling everybody, especially from what? From Activision Blizzard. One second, guys. What just happened, dude? We're good. I apologize. Especially from Activision Blizzard that after the acquisition, they are not planning on standing in anybody's way with trying to continue building unions and things like that. That's basically what that comes down to. We've already touched on it, so go check out the previous news segments. 343 Industries apologizes for offensive and hurtful ellipses. Let's see what that's about. The new craze right now with monitors is mini LED lit monitors. This looks like a kind of a vague, overarching kind of article. Upcoming superhero mobile games. I'm not going to dive into that. Pixelworks technology empowers one-piece fighting path to advanced visual experience on mobile gaming. We'll see what that's about. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to read this article about Bitcoin is crashing. We've already, I mean, it's cryptocurrency across the board, right? Ethereum, Bitcoin, you know, there's all kind of, like, all the cryptocurrencies crashing. And we've already read a little bit about it, so I'm not going to dive back in there right yet. Saw that yesterday. Xbox sends gamer message telling them how to talk to crisis counselor. We've already talked a lot about PlayStation Plus over the past few days, and rightfully so. I mean, their new subscription service came out like what, roughly 2 days ago, and we've read about all the games coming off the service. We've read about, which was around 200, about the 700 games that are coming to the service and the different subscription tiers and what they mean, and so I'm not gonna dive into this. Actually, psych, I will. Uh, Users surprised with one of the best PS1 games of all time. So we will take a look at that. See what the, I'm guessing it was in one of the lists, but just to ensure this isn't like a an addition to their subscription service after the list that we had already seen and talked about. All right, let's pivot here. Let's pivot. We already talked about that. We read that article and talked about it. Polygon wants to help you find your next favorite video game. We'll glance at that real quick. We've already talked about the Amazon deal going on. Same as the Target deal. They've got a buy two, get one free. It's for video games. It's for toys and movies and what have you. So if you're interested in getting some new content, entertainment-wise right now, maybe go check out Amazon or Target's online stores, okay? Yeah, I mean, mundane chores are all the rage in gaming. I hit on this recently. I'm not gonna dive into this. It is kind of weird to me. But I mean, to each their own. Like being a gas, there's like gas station attendant simulators and power washing simulators and farming simulators and lawn mowing simulators and you know, it's like, for me, a lot of those things that I've done in life, I don't care to do in a game, man. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? I just don't care to do that in a game. Like, perform chores. It's just, I don't know. I mean, to each their own. It just doesn't appeal to me, but a lot of people like it. Hollow Knight Silksong's new gameplay trailer is living in our brains. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up. You know I'm gonna pull that up. Talked about this yesterday. New Little League World Series baseball game coming. Pretty cool. May 2022 was US video game industry's worst spending since February 2020. Take a look at that. it had already shown a downward trend in just video gaming as a market across the games themselves, consoles, hardware, all kinds of hardware and software. Gaming in general had seen a bit of a dip from, what was it, March 2021 to March 2022. And looks like it's continuing to trend that way a little bit. Review TMNT Shredder's Revenge is a Kung Fu Barrage. Take a look at that. That game looks really cool. How artists are increasingly blurring the lines between fiction and video games. I think that's what that says. Yeah, we've seen some incredible stuff, especially coming out of the new Unreal Engine, UE5. So we'll take a look. We've seen a lot of this already. We knew that there's like an award for best video game composition at the Grammys now, and we'll see who gets it. We'll see who wins. Yeah, we already talked about the sales going on right now for buy two, get one free at Amazon and Target. We've already hit quite a bit on the significant obstacles that Ukrainian developers have had to deal with, and amidst the war going on and trying to continue their work and develop games. And I mean, it's not just gaming devs from Ukraine; it's everybody. Every citizen of Ukraine is struggling with how to maintain any kind of form of normalcy in their lives because of this invasion conducted by Russia. And it's unfortunate. War is terrible. I would never wish anybody to have to experience what war has to offer. And all I can say is that my heart and thoughts go out to anybody that is Ukrainian, and I know there have been a lot of people that have dealt with some pretty terrible stuff already in this ordeal, and I hope that it ends very soon. I never want to see anybody have to deal with war, ever. We've talked about a lot of the Diablo Immortal stuff. I'm going to stay away from it for now. We've really hit on that topic a lot. You want to know what I think about it? Go back and look at the previous news segments on YouTube from about the past 4 or 5 days. You get a really good taste of how I feel about it. TLDR, totally against that scummy kind of, predatory incorporations in video games. I hate it. Let me see something real quick. Okay. Didn't need it. Yo, it's random mode time, guys. Oh, Pinky, that was so close, dude. Wow. So close. What's up, Pinky? Yep, we've hit on all that already. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's another report. Gaming spending has hit the lowest point in more than 2 years. We've got an article up already. We're going to hit on that. Gamer, what's up? What's wrong, dude? What's up, man? Gamer, get that random mode in there, man. Yeah, this is from a while, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we read about that. Yeah, we saw the Xbox stuff. I'm not going to dive into like summaries of things we've already seen. Again, Axie Infinity, that's kind of old news. We've talked about that. Wait, what? PlayStation Store was charging nearly $10,000 for Tekken something. Let's see what that is. It looks like Tekken. Assassin's Creed 1 remake revealed in the AC50. We'll take a look at that. Oh, Gotham Knights murals pop up in Montreal, dude. Check this out. That's cool. I love street art, man. Final Fantasy Insider teases return of PSP game. We'll see what that's about. Probably to PS Plus, if I was going to guess. Crash 4 coming to Steam very soon. New Digimon Survive trailer released. All right, we'll stick with that. That's our 3 pages of each search. All right, so let's stick with that and see what we get. Cool. PlayStation Store was charging nearly $10,000 for Tekken 2. What? What? Hard as it might be to believe, the price of video games has remained mostly stagnant over the last 30 years. I digress. Um, it depends on how you look at it. Base price games have kind of remained the same, right? Like if you're just buying a brand new game off the shelf or whatever, they haven't fluxed too much. But um, when you talk about all the other things regarding games, DLC and microtransaction stuff, and video games have actually gotten much more costly. Um, a few on the PlayStation Store recently retailed for $10,000. That was the U.S. That was the case for both Tekken 2 and Mr. Driller, two games recently added exclusively for those subscribed to the PS Plus Premium tier. Obviously, this was a mistake on Sony's part, which has now been corrected. However, it did not change before catching the attention of Katsuhiro Harada, game director and chief producer on the Tekken franchise. On Twitter, Harada seemed to endorse the higher price point, calling it marvelous. That's funny. While most fans probably wouldn't be willing to spend $10,000 for Tekken 2, the game does have a very passionate following, yes. The fighter released to universal praise both for the arcade version and for the one that released on PlayStation. Tekken 2 is widely considered one of the greatest fighting games of all time, winning numerous awards from countless outlets. PlayStation 2, man, that console just absolutely killed it. In addition to Harada, a number of Tekken fans across social media have had fun with the game's price point, with some joking that it's actually a bargain. That's funny. That's funny. Good times, man. Um, Assassin's Creed 1 remake revealed in the AC 15th anniversary video. The original Assassin's Creed game seems to have slipped away into the further reaches of my memory. When looking back on the franchise a whopping 15 years later, Assassin's Creed 2 is the game most easily remembered. But we've seen Ezio so many times, and we'll be seeing him again soon. Shouldn't we be reunited with Altair for a change? Assassin's Creed 1 hints in anniversary video. It was first recognized by at Ikrake underscore original. A shot from the Assassin's Creed 15th anniversary video shows a scene from the first Assassin's Creed game, but it looks far nicer than it ever did in 2007. Therefore, this must clearly have been captured from a recent remake of the game. Here's a side by side of the original shot and the shot from the anniversary video. Oh, yeah, dude. It just looks more vibrant, really. Like these look super like washed out, whereas these have definitely been enhanced color wise. When will the Assassin's Creed 1 remake be released? So far, these are the first signs we've heard of the Assassin's Creed 1 remake, but it is a remake. We're not talking about the next GTA, so you should expect it in 2023. Okay, sure, maybe I am being a little optimistic, but with Assassin's Creed Infinity well underway and Assassin's Creed Baghdad basically ready for an imminent launch, it's not that far fetched. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll hear more about this, but there you go. Anybody, any of those AC fans out there? Gotham Knights murals pop up in Montreal. Gotham Knights developer WB Games Montreal has revealed a series of huge murals bringing the video game's main characters to life. The DC video game is scheduled to release for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on October 25th. And the promotional machine is already kicking into full gear. The faces of Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood, the playable characters in the upcoming video game, have all been plastered across buildings in Montreal as part of the city's ongoing mural festival. More specifically, WB Games Montreal partnered on the project with marketing agency Landmark, LNDMRK, and features work from local Montreal artists. That's great, man. The Batgirl mural is by, I'm guessing that's Lala, but it's Lala with periods in between. The Robin mural is by Kevin Ledoux. The Nightwing mural is by Jonathan Bergeron. And the Red Hood mural is by Mort. You can check out a look at the murals and their creation in the video shared by WB Games Montreal embedded below. I'll probably turn the sound off. But we'll take a look at these murals real quick. Let's see what they have to offer. I love art, man. I love art. But I'm fairly sure this music in this is going to be DMCA stuff, so we'll just keep it out. That way I don't have to mute everything whenever it's uploaded later, the news segment. Dude, that is awesome. Those are cool. How neat is that, man? Those were really good. Cool. GG's, man. Artists. So many amazing artists out there, and so many different types of, their own medium, whatever their, forte. Writing, music, art. It's really cool. Quote, Gotham Knights features the Batman family as players step into the roles of Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, new guard of trained DC superheroes who must rise up as the protectors of Gotham City in the wake of Batman's death. The official description of the new video game from WB Games Montreal reads, from solving mysteries that connect the darkest chapters in the city's history to defeating notorious villains and epic confrontations, players will confront an array of challenges as they evolve into their own version of the Dark Knight. Set to release for, again, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on October 25th. Several different versions available to pre-order, ranging from $70 at the lowest to $300 US, wherever such things are sold. So there you go. Really, it's about that art right there. That's really good. Final Fantasy Insider teases return of PSP game. One second, guys. Okay. A notable video game industry insider seems to be teasing that a popular PSP game from Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII series could soon be getting remastered for new platforms. As of tomorrow, June 16th, Square is planning to hold a new presentation dedicated, really, dedicated entirely to Final Fantasy VII. While we don't currently know what might be announced at the event, one reputable leaker may have just given us a good idea. We might have something to watch today, guys. I didn't know that was happening today. Okay. Based on a new tweet from an anonymous video game industry insider that simply goes by The Snitch, Square Enix might be planning to bring back Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, to new platforms. For those unaware, Crisis Core is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII that centers around a character named Zack. Zack played a part in Final Fantasy VII original. Although this insider in question didn't say anything specific about Crisis Core getting remastered, they did share an image of Zack from Final Fantasy VII Remake, along with colored squares that seem to represent PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC platforms. As such, the conclusion that many fans drew was that a new iteration of Crisis Core could be unveiled in the near future. One major reason why Square Enix could be looking to remaster Crisis Core at this time is because the game is clearly going to have something to do with Final Fantasy VII Remake and its upcoming sequels. As mentioned, Zack ends up appearing at the conclusion of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which implies that the events from Crisis Core are going to be quite important to the story in the future. However, Crisis Core itself was only ever released on Sony's PSP handheld back in 2008, which means it's incredibly hard to access nowadays. For Square Enix to bring the game back would unshackle it from the confines of the PSP and would make it more accessible than ever before. Again, it's worth stressing that this is all just a rumor at best, so take everything that has been outlined here with a grain of salt. Although this insider has been very credible in the past, it's hard to know if what they are teasing here is absolutely related to a remaster of Crisis Core. Either way, we should learn more officially from Square Enix in the coming day. Let's take a quick search here. I think I had heard about this and I just totally forgot. It's happening at 5 p.m. our time. I won't be live at that point. I won't be live at that point. Um, we're gonna watch it tomorrow morning. We're gonna watch it tomorrow morning in between um, news and Valheim play. Okay, so I'll leave that up. Leave that up so I remember to grab it tomorrow. Um, Crash Bandicoot 4 coming to Steam very soon. Yeah, that's not working very well. That'll work. Uh, when Crash 4 It's About Time was first released, it was only available for Xbox and PlayStation. Obviously, good news for some, but there were a great many PC gamers who wanted to see the title brought over to their platform. It was as much a part of their childhood as anyone else's, they argue. And indeed, they got their way. But Crash Bandicoot was only available via Activision's client Battle.net, not more widely via Steam. As with Call of Duty moving to Steam, it seems Activision will do the same now with Crash 4. The Steam database is collected and shared public by steamdb.info, and Crash Bandicoot 4 was found on the database just a few hours ago. The name has probably been edited by the publishers already, but this was the entry in the database for Crash 4. It's about time. So far, no one has come out to confirm or deny the rumors regarding Crash 4 coming to Steam. If they do, you'll be able to see them share it here. But if it's in the Steam database already, this is an announcement you can expect in weeks rather than months. So, any Crash Bandicoot fans out there, Crash 4 coming to Steam, baby. Cool, cool. New Digimon Survive trailer released. Digimon Survive publisher and developer Bandai Namco has released a new trailer for the upcoming video game, which is described as a hybrid visual novel and tactical RPG ahead of its release. The new Digimon video game is officially set to release for the PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on July 29th. And the new trailer offers a good look at the game's combat and visual novel elements. Somewhat strangely, the trailer is being promoted as if it were the announcement of the video game's release date, despite the fact that it was confirmed as releasing in North America on July 29th back in April. It's possible that the company simply wants to reiterate the fact more broadly attached to new footage, given the fact that it was previously delayed over and over again. Quote, "First of all, we'd like to thank you for your continued patience and support for Digimon Survive." A statement from Digimon Survive producer Kazumasa Habu stated in part back when it was delayed in 2022. Continued quote, "Our original goal was to launch Digimon Survive in 2021. However, due to the need to allocate more time to the development, it is necessary to move the game's release date to 2022. While this decision hasn't been an easy one, we want to make sure we use this extra time to enhance the quality of the game." Then the quote, "It's been a long time coming, but Digimon Survive is almost here. Check out the latest trailer." We might watch this. I don't know. We can watch it. We'll see what's up. After getting lost on yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yuki?
Lost in a strange parallel world.
だから僕は反対だ。子供だけでこんな危険な場所を探索なんて。
Be careful, as each decision could be your last. Using your phone, uncover strange anomalies in this new world as you try to piece together a mystery.
どうして一体何があったの
Surrounded by a mysterious dense fog, filled with danger around every corner. Trapped in a world swarming with monsters, where terrifying creatures roam the night.
Ooh, I like
やらせるもんか
As if bound by fate, they must work together. They must trust one another.
It's like a turn-based
They
kinda
must save each other.
rich thing.
みんな、行くぞ。
They must survive.
Okay.
Delve into Digimon
Neato
Survive
gang.
this July
Neato.
29th, 2022.
So there you go. Trailer. After getting lost on a school trip, Takuma Momozuka finds himself transported to a world inhabited by ferocious foes and new allies. The official description of Digimon Survive from Bandai Namco reads, "Join Takuma and his friends as they fight their way back home. Craft your story in this thrilling visual novel with turn-based combat." As noted above, Digimon Survive is set to release for the PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on July 29th. It is available to pre-order wherever such things are sold. The PS4 and Xbox One versions are compatible with the PS5 and Xbox Series XS consoles, respectively. So there you go. Any of those Digimon fans out there, dude, I used to watch me some Digimon back in the day. I like Digimon. That's cool. Introducing Dear Polygon, the internet's preeminent video game advice column. 1 second, guys. Sorry. No. Okay. Sorry. Video games can be a daunting hobby, or one might even call them art. They are absolutely art. We here at Polygon have therefore been called on to tackle the loftiest of all pursuits, imparting our knowledge and wisdom, which have come to burden us so heavily, on the readers who frequent our exceedingly humble corner of the internet. Allow me to introduce Polygon's new advice column, Dear Polygon. It's a chance for us to correspond directly with you searchers out there, those of you seeking your next obsession among the vast swaths of digital drivel in the world. Think of us as your lighthouse in the never-ending sea of video games. We want to be the Kapora Gabora to your Link, the Gandalf to your Frodo, the Game Truthstein to your Ernest Hemingway, WASD. So whether you're sifting through your old Game Boy Advance library, looking for a similar game to Citizen Sleeper, or searching for a whole new genre in which to ensconce yourself, you're in the right place. We have all the recommendations you need, and chances are you're not the only one with the same questions and curiosities. So what are you waiting for? Fill out this form for a chance to be featured in future installments of the world's most refined video game advice column. Huh, that's wild. Here you go. If you guys are interested, I'll link it right there so you can take a look. That's wild. Cool. Oh, baby, Silk Song. Silk Song. Hollow Knight Silk Song's new gameplay trailer is living rent-free in our brains. Yes, developer Team Cherry's Metroidvania sequel has made an appearance during Xbox and Bethesda's game showcase with new ninja tools. Yep, what's up? So let me I'm gonna post this in. So all this is really just an introduction to people, the trailer for um Silk Song, Hollow Knight Silk Song, the sequel to Hollow Knight. And if you didn't catch it in the showcases, then there it is. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'm not gonna watch it again. We've already seen it. As hyped as I am about Silk Song, and knowing it's gonna potentially be out within the next year, gamer, I will address your question. Um, so gamer asks, you've been streaming for a year now. Has it paid off? Has your viewer base increased in the year you have streamed? I ask because I've thought of streaming, but it doesn't seem worth it to me with an average viewer base of under 10 in the last year, like your stream. Unless you do it for another reason. So, I'll just try to address this in a very comprehensive answer here across the board with everything you asked. Um, I have seen our community grow. I never expected, so I'll address the first part of your question, to begin with. And I never expected, with the way that I am trying to build this community, I never expected it to be something that just took off real quick. Because obviously, a lot of what people are looking for in online communities is what the internet provides most people inherently in anonymity, right? They like to go find communities where they can kind of let loose and maybe be a bit toxic. And of course, with our community being built in a way that is safe for work, kind of PG-13, right? And being more wholesome, away from toxicity, and accepting and understanding of one another. It's not really in line with what a lot of people are looking for in an online community. But the reason that I laid the foundation for this community to be what it is and what it is growing into is because I knew that if this turned into something that I was able to do for however long moving forward, I needed this to be a place that I could come to and be proud of and happy to spend every single day here doing this, right? And that's what I needed out of this community. The foundation that I laid for it to be what it totally has become and continues to grow into is what I needed it to be for me to be happy to come here and do this every single day. So I never expected this to grow into anything very fast, but we continue to have more people come here, find out about the channel, and be a part of what we're doing. And I couldn't be happier with that. I would rather have this really nice, cool community of like-minded people, understanding, welcoming, inclusive, like-minded people than a place that was just about seeing how many viewers I could get as fast as possible, and it being toxic and just a terrible community for anybody to feel safe and be a part of, right? So that's the first part of it. Absolutely, Pinky. I agree, dude. I agree. 100%. See, that's a win right there. That's a win. And the thing is, just because our community is, let me be very, very clear, just because our community is built the way it's built and what I was just talking about previously, doesn't mean we don't laugh and have fun and stuff like that, right? Because I love to laugh. And there's comedy in this channel all the time. I'm constantly making highlights of us just like hee-hawing about stuff in the channel, you know? And so that's the first part of it, right? The viewer base has absolutely increased, but I think, you know, I came into this venture knowing this is something that I had been wanting to do, kind of a dream basically of mine, to be able to interact with people, build a cool community, and play games, which is something I'm so very passionate about. This has been a dream of mine for years. I just didn't ever really have the chance to dive into it until roughly a year ago. And so I've known a lot about what it would take to get into this. The fact of the matter is, you can't jump into being a content creator and you can. I would highly advise against this, though. You can do this, but I would advise against it. If you're planning on being a content creator, a streamer, a broadcaster, and you're going into this with the notion that it's going to automatically scale super quickly as far as viewers and become this very, very lucrative thing for you right off the bat, I would say that is probably a bit delusional as far as that is concerned, right? This is an area where there are a lot of people streaming, and everybody wants to turn this into something. I mean, whether it be video games or art or what have you, everybody wants to turn this into something that is potentially life sustaining for them if they enjoy it. And that's the main thing for me that I want to get across is this might not be something that I'm able to do for the rest of my life. I have never been happier doing anything as a job, right, as this. I've also never worked as hard or long on anything in my entire life career-wise, and still just enjoyed it so very, very much. This is a dream for me. So that is like the second part to my answer for your, you know, doesn't seem worth it to me. You know, you're saying it doesn't seem worth it to you with an average viewer base if it's like under 10 people, right? The whole thing behind it is that if you want to create a community and a sustainable viewer base, then it's work, man. It's work you got to put in. And yeah, I mean, I'll continue to address what you're putting in chat after I finish this kind of all-encompassing sentiment here. I do it because I love it. I do it because I love... Yo, Sack, what's up, buddy? I love hanging out with you guys. I love the people of this community. I love video games, man, and I'm passionate about it, which is why we do the news, and which is why I play games all the time. And being able to share that passion with other people and build a community around it is ultimately my dream. And so, yeah, it's absolutely worth it to me. If you're planning on getting into a venture like this, what you have to understand is that there will be days that look great, days that feel great, right? And, you know, you'll see the build of new viewers and community and stuff like that. And then you'll have other days where it seems very down and kind of droll compared to what your average is, right? That's just something you have to understand about. There are a lot of things that I think you need to have a realistic understanding of in getting into, you know, this potential venture like this. And my biggest piece of advice would be, if you're passionate about it and you actually want to try it, then give it a shot. But you have to have some realistic expectations about what is going on in this type of venture. And don't let yourself get beat up, because it's not easy breaking into this in the first place. So if you want to do it, do it. But, you know, maintain that mindset that you need to just keep pushing and doing what is fun for you and creating content and understanding for yourself that it'll catch on. And there are going to be people like you that enjoy what you're doing, and they'll become part of what you do moving forward. Okay. Is it going to happen real fast? Probably not, you know, but there are some people, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. There are some people that it has happened for very, very quick. Right. And they've gotten very popular. They've gotten an absolutely absurd amount of viewers on the constant. It's become very lucrative for them. And what I'll say is, ultimately, all I could ask for in this venture for myself is to continue to do this, because I am overjoyed to do this every single day. And I know that I'm very fortunate as well. Not everybody has this opportunity. And man, I've wanted to do this for a very long time and wasn't sure I'd ever have the opportunity. I've had many careers. I've had good careers. And at this point, I'm going to keep pushing and doing everything I can to keep creating this community, which I love so much. And hopefully turn it into something that is sustainable for me for the rest of my life. I don't need to be rich. I don't care to be famous either. But to have it turn into something that would allow me to continue doing this for the rest of my life, that's the dream for me, man. That's the dream. Many streamers have this as a full-time gig. I could never see myself quitting a full-time job to stream. In my situation, streaming would never pay all my bills. Yeah. I mean, again, just go back to what I said last, you know, which is, it is not lost on me how fortunate I am to be able to do this full-time. And look, even what everybody sees, if you've never gotten into content creation, what I do for 8-9 hours a day in the stream isn't even the extent of how much time I still put into it on the back end. Even though you guys aren't always seeing everything that I'm working on for the community, there's time every single day after the stream that I'm still working on stuff constantly, and it doesn't always show. When I am able to show stuff off, it feels really good, but it's just like YouTube. The YouTube stuff is incredibly time consuming, and ultimately for me, YouTube's not even something that is I'm investing my time in as a means to necessarily be lucrative. For me, it's more a way of trying to get exposure to the channel and our community, and bring other people in to hang out with us and be, you know, build the community up, man. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, it's difficult, man, and it's not lost on me. I'm very, very fortunate to do this right now, and a big reason that I'm able to do this is because of some of my past careers that I've had good careers, and I've learned a lot, and I've done decent in some of those careers, but mainly it's because of the support of my wife and kids, man. I would not be able to do this right now if my wife. I have an amazing partner in life, and who isn't even a game player. And she approached me whenever we made these, we were making life changes. I was giving up a career so we could move, and she was taking up a new career, and we were making a significant move across the country, and she said, you should just try it. I don't even think I actually even brought anything up. It was just, you know, the fact that I had talked about doing it for so long, and it apparently looked like a good time for me to give it a shot, and lucky enough, you know, I have this amazing person to spend my life with. And she said, you know, this is an opportunity right now where we're set up in a position that you should try this out. It's your dream. You should give it a shot. And I'm just very fortunate that I have somebody in life to share my life with like that. And fortunate that we were in a position for me to be able to give it a go, man. You know, and that's why I know it's very hard for people to take that jump into streaming, because quite often if you are potentially going to be successful, you need to stream a lot, and not everybody can do that because you've got jobs, and you know, I get it, man. I've been there. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing that's really, and that's why I try to express that sentiment very often, how fortunate I am to be able to do what I do every single day, all day long. Most people are not that fortunate. And that's not lost on me. It really is not. Hopefully that answers. I love what I do, man. I love you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Being a part of what we're building here is huge to me. It's why I try to thank everybody so often for being here and being a part of what we do. I truly mean that, man. It means more than words can really express to me to have you guys to come here every day as being a part of what this community is turning into, and that's huge to me. Huge to me. So ultimately, if it wasn't for, first of all, my family supporting me in this, I wouldn't be doing this. And then all I can do is lay the foundation for what this is supposed to be. It's a testament to all of you amazing people that come here every single day and are part of what we do that continue to help build this community, and so I appreciate you guys very much as well. YouTube gamer, YouTube buddy. Good question. Good question. Think about it. Think about it, man. I know that maybe it's not a thing you'll be able to do full time, but if you're interested, you should give it a shot. Absolutely. I would never tell anybody not to chase their dream. It's not always easy for people to do, but this is absolutely my dream, and I'm living it right now, and I couldn't be happier. Gamer, have a great day at work, buddy. Thanks for being here. Great question, dude. All right, let's get back into the news segments. Cool. Syke, what's up, my dude? Yeah, shout out to the kid to Kid Antics, Teen Antics, and Uber Wife Antics. Yes. Absolutely. The biggest of shout outs. May 2022 was U.S. video game industry's worst spending month since February 2020. We had already seen reports previously. Yeah. No Kappa there either, dude. Give it a shot, man. Give it a shot. Dude, I can't catch my breath. I just got so debated right there, dude. I just got so debated. Holy crap. Nice, Syke. Nice, dude. That was pretty good, man. Oh, dude. You're a riot, man. So we already had seen reports where from like the past fiscal year was not great for gaming, actually. Like from March or April of 2021 to the end of March of this year, there's been a dip. And apparently that's continuing to trend that way, yeah. Total spending on games, consoles, and accessories dropped by 19% during May 2022 compared to last year. You know what? I'm not going to read all these stats here, but what I am going to say is this is something that we read previously. It was about a 15% drop in March 2022 compared to March of 2021. So this percent has increased even more. Yeah. Consumer spending on Google Play has slipped by 23%. Spending on Apple's App Store, or wait, Google, is this Google or App? I'm guessing Google's App Store dropped only 2.6. So yeah, for Google, spending on Google Play specifically has dropped 23%, whereas spending on their App Store as a whole has only dropped 2.6%. So you can see right there, there's definitely a difference in what people are spending right now on games, mobile, across the board, hardware, consoles, whatever. That's a pretty good number right there to show that like even their App Store hasn't taken a huge hit like gaming has. Quote, while this points to inflation and other macroeconomic factors impacting spend on Google Play, where consumers are typically more cost conscious, positive sign for mobile gamers, mobile games revenue as a whole came in form of a small yet perceivable year-over-year increase in spending of 1.3% to the top 10 earning games across both stores. Top 10 best-selling games in the U.S. for May. Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Switch Sports, Evil Dead. Has anybody played Evil Dead? The game looks really cool, man. MLB The Show 22, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Call of Duty Vanguard, Mario Kart 8, Gran Turismo 7. Really, dude? Really? And Pokemon Legends Arceus. So, two of the first big-name games to come out this year were in February. Elden Ring and Pokemon Legends Arceus. And actually, Kirby and the Forgotten Land wasn't that far behind. What was that, March, I think? And all three of those are still in the top 10 right now. Cool. So I'm not going to dive into all these stats. If you guys want to take a harder look at what that's talking about, go ahead. Main thing to understand is that basically from this time last year, or like the first 2 quarters of last year, first 2 quarters of this year, we're continuing to see drops in gaming revenue. TMNT Shredder's Revenge is a kung fu barrage of arcade perfection. Nice. Available on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It released today. Yo, that's awesome. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are brawler kings, and Shredder's Revenge is a potent reminder of why the foursome have remained icons to anyone lucky enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with friends and strangers in the arcades of the 80s and 90s. Developed by Tribute Games, Shredder's Revenge is a deliberate throwback to just about anything and everything in the 1987 animated series and its various media properties, from surprise cameos of characters from the TV show to pixel-perfect reconstructions of the Playmates toy line, as well as the franchise's various arcade, Nintendo and Sega Genesis video games, especially the 1989 four-player arcade cabinet. Except this time around, up to 6 people can play simultaneously. Players have a standard combination attack, a backwards attack, a forward and backwards dodge, an upward jump attack, a devastating special move that can be upgraded later, various throws, and of course the classic dive kick. The dive kick was so good. An iconic move copied in various brawler and fighting games over the decades. The story mode has light role-playing elements, a slimmer version of the developer's previous work with the hit modern brawler Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Playing as each character and achieving certain challenges will win you points to power up through 10 levels, each with small power creeps like another bar of health or special new moves. Gives the game a surprising amount of replayability, as completionists will want to max out every character to level 10 by playing and replaying the 20 levels available, which players navigate through a Super Mario World-like map. These replays are made all the more tantalizing by finding surprise and maybe long-forgotten side characters from the TV show. I totally forgot about Vernon Fenwick, a snide and career-hungry journalist, but once his face popped into frame, my brain unlocked instant. Renewed hatred for him. Each of these side characters have collectibles hidden throughout the levels, and finding all of them nets you more points to level up each character faster, as well as gain more lives. Both story and arcade mode take you through a compelling brawler storytelling experience. The original TMNT arcade game was notable for having its story unfold as you played through the level, which in 1989 was the closest thing to an Uncharted-like cinematic experience. That first game's level had a driller bore through April O'Neil's burning apartment as players ran through it, unearthing the first boss, Rocksteady. After his defeat, the Turtles progress through an unbroken string of narrative stages, moving from the apartment to the streets to factories. Shredder's Revenge follows this format with wild success through sharp and luxuriously animated pixels, giving so much life to every frame. The first level is a fight through April's TV news station. Foot soldiers furiously type away writing articles and suddenly leap at you. Other goons will work out or cook in the test kitchen before attacking. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. There's some spoilers for the stages and stuff. I'm not going to read that. Yeah, enemies and attack patterns will also teach players to utilize the various moves available. Moves can be strung together in wild combos with seemingly infinite combinations. By the late game, players will be decimating goons with the fury of a Hong Kong kung fu master, except fueled by pizza. Game's only possible drawback is that its content is rather slim, offering only the arcade story modes. Casey Jones, the British jock of the TV show, is unlocked after beating the game, man, spoilers! Which encourages yet another run, but it's considerably less than the recent Streets of Rage 4. Core game is so strong that any fans of brawlers will instantly find this among the best in recent decades, standing alongside Rage 4 and Scott Pilgrim. Shredder's Revenge achieves everything it set out to do and will go down as an instant classic for its genre, no matter what era, whether it's 1987, 1989, or 2022. It would be one of the finest, most exciting video game experiences of the year, honing an arcade formula as ageless as Turtles in Time. Cool, man. Yeah, everything I've heard about it so far is that it's really good. And it actually fully released today, so if you enjoy the old Turtles game, you just like brawlers, what have you, probably worth checking out Shredder's Revenge. Wild, man. How artists are increasingly blurring the lines between fine art and video games. A new exhibition at the Julia Stoschek collection in Dusseldorf unpacks the expanded role of virtual reality games in contemporary art. Where do video games end and where does fine art begin? If recent exhibitions tell us anything, it's that lines are getting blurrier by the day. At the Julia Stoschek collection in Dusseldorf, for example, a new show titled World Building looks to unpack the myriad ways in which games have become increasingly enmeshed with 21st century visual culture. The works on view are vastly different from one another in terms of scale, scope, and purpose, but also in terms of form and function. Some of them are actually games, others are inspired by games. Some are single-channel videos, such as Harun Faraki's Serious Games 1, Watson is Down, a 4-part art house documentary about how virtual reality games are used to recruit and train soldiers. And Liu Yang's The Great Adventure of Material World 2019, another work on view. Excuse me. Players encounter a 3-channel installation that at first appears like a typical role-playing game, replete with a dizzying array of graphics, animations, quests, and battles. But players soon realize that the artist has provocatively upended the narrative by forcing gamers to confront characters that shatter the illusion of the game's narrative structure. Quote, video games are to the 21st century what movies were to the 20th century. Yeah, absolutely. And novels to the 19th century. Not that people don't still enjoy those other forms for sure, but gaming has become what they were. Obra said, artists are increasingly developing the technical ability to invent, design, and distribute their own games on all continents to create virtual worlds of diversity and inclusion. Mythology is another theme that runs deep in Lawrence Leck's Nepenthe Valley. For example, the artist has created an installation inspired by the fictional medicine for memory in Greek mythology. An installation of virtual reality environments allows visitors to encounter a soundtrack of ambient music composed by the artist. The work was originally co-commissioned by the NFT platform So Far, spearheaded by Christina, NFT platform, fantastic. Christina Chow, and the virtual gallery AORA for Art Dubai 2022. Ultimately, Leck's work asks us to stop, pause, and reflect. A beautiful addendum to harmony that is constructed around what the artist calls 9 resting spots. Lush mountainous landscapes that come complete with meditation and breathwork sessions, infusing into the ethos of gaming a space for health and well-being. That's pretty wild. I mean, if I've been trying to really express this sentiment a lot here lately, and the fact that video games as a whole are actually pieces of art, and very, very, very good video games tend to have a a good mix of very well developed different forms of art, whether it be great writing, you know, immersive environments, great music. You know, there's all different kinds of art that go into video games. And the fact of the matter is, as technology evolves, this only becomes more and more apparent to people, right? Or it should at least. We've seen where we've read in the news recently that San Francisco State University has started conducting explicit classes aimed at teaching people how to develop video game music, right? And I mean, also acting. Acting's a big part of video games, you know? There's all kinds of stuff, and not only is it becoming apparent, but it's being celebrated as well, where gamers are able to, you know, enter into contests for screenshots they've made in the games they love, and not only is this a celebration of what gamers are able to experience, but of what has been developed in the game itself art-wise. We see right now that the Grammys are actually going to be giving awards for best video game composition. You know, I mean, it's just a great thing that people are starting to recognize video games for the amazing pieces of art that they are. It's so good. Amazon Prime is giving away 30 games on Prime Day, including Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Really? Well, Mad kept prompting me to play Mass Effect game, so I don't know, maybe that'll happen. I have like one or two of them, but I didn't have all of them. To coincide with its annual shopping event, Amazon Prime Day, the retail giant, is giving away over 50 games over the next month. This year, Amazon Prime Day will take place over 2 days, from August 12th to 13th. The company announced on Thursday. During Prime Day, Prime members will be able to claim over 30 free games, including Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Grid Legends, Need for Speed Heat, and Star Wars Jedi Academy. Really. And from June 21st until June 13th, Prime members can also start freeloading more than 25 free indie games instantly. Games on offer will include Death Squad, Fatal Fury Special, Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, Gone Viral, Hue, Metal Slug 2, Pumped BMX Pro, Samurai Showdown 2, The Dark Side Detective, and King of Fighters 2002. Prime Gaming, which is available as part of Amazon Prime subscription, offers members new PC titles to keep and exclusive in-game content every month. June 2022's free Prime games are Far Cry 4, Escape from Monkey Island, Astrologaster, Cross the Grooves, Calico. Wait, for real? Calico's free, right? Well, looks like my daughter will get to play it. And WRC 8 FIA Rally World Rally Championship. You know, this is one of the things we don't come across as often regarding free games. I think I feel like in the news segments is the Amazon Prime Gaming free games. You know, occasionally, but not like we do for Epic and some other stuff. You know, but there's definitely something to be said for they're always giving away free games, and right now this is a big box of games. Amazon recently acquired the streaming rights to a TV adaptation of God of War, yes. The iconic action-adventure franchise is reportedly being adapted for TV by The Expanse creators, executive producers Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, and The Wheel of Time executive producer, showrunner Rafe Judkins. My daughter. It's for my daughter. Yeah. Yo, keep tabs. Go grab what you can for if you have Amazon Prime. Go grab your free games right now and prepare to get a lot more coming up. Here's how to watch the Final Fantasy. I already have this up. Here's how to watch the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream. All eyes are on FF7 Remake Part 2 and Crisis Core. Yeah, we already kind of read about this. Wondering how to watch the FF7 25th anniversary stream? Look no further. Everything you need to know. Their Twitch channel right there. So it's not happening. Oh, I was already. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we've already read about this. So unfortunately, the FF7 anniversary stream doesn't happen until 5 p.m. our time. I'm not going to be live that long today, guys. So like we've done with some of these other live broadcasts over the past, whatever, whenever, if they're past our streaming time, I'll watch them the next day, right? So tomorrow the plan will be to do news, then we'll watch Final Fantasy anniversary stream, and then we'll get into Valheim, okay? But I'm not going to read all this again. We've already kind of touched on a lot of that. Jeff Keighley talks about the future of game events. Video game fans had to do without the annual E3 trade show this year. Yeah, we've talked a lot about that. But veteran industry insider Jeff Keighley has been filling that space with events like the Summer Game Fest and a fan event called Play Days. On E3 and its return, Jeff says, I've been to every E3 since the first one in 1995. I was a young kid when I went to E3. And look, there hasn't been an E3 in, I guess, 3 years now. I don't know. They're saying they're coming back next year. They've said that before, though. I don't really know if that's real or not. Same thing I've been saying. We can't really tell. Put much stock into that at this point. I love going to E3, but I think E3 has sort of had a participation or relevance problem over the past couple of years. And look, we're willing to talk to them, and hopefully it'll all be one big happy family of the industry. But right now, we just have to keep focused on what we are doing. Future of Summer Games Fest, which is something he's always hosted. I can tease a little bit of what we're thinking about. I'm very interested in doing something that's decentralized and allows fans around the world to feel a part of the show. I don't think we're ever going to have just one mega destination where we're going to have 200,000 people show up in a city. Could we do play days in multiple cities? What would play days look like in London or in Tokyo? How do we use digital and cloud to bring more playable games to people and things like that? I think it's going to be a digital first experience with a physical component. NFTs and gaming. I think the idea of digital art and artists being compensated for their work and participating in that compensation over time as art continues to move through its life cycle. I think it is really interesting. As it relates to games, I think the other thing that we're thinking a lot about is NFTs or blockchain. It's a technology, but to me, it's all about the gameplay. What's the game experience going to be, right? I've yet to see a game or a game experience in that Web3 world that has really compelled me to say, oh, that's something I would put on my show. Yeah. Look, we're interested in learning about it, but right now, I think we're pretty cautious about that space overall. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, have been sort of scammed as part of it. Absolutely. Which is cause for caution. I have friends that have bought that stuff. If you have fun with it, go for it. I'm not saying don't get in there. I think you have to be very aware of what's happening in the world and some of the challenges with it. Yeah, again, I mean, that's kind of the sentiment that I've given everybody. My advice is to stay away from it right now. It's not being incorporated in a way that's mutually beneficial for both us as gamers and the developers. There could be a point in the future where it is, and ultimately, if you're going to be taking a dive into NFTs and blockchain within gaming, and that's your prerogative, right? But what I would say is be very, very careful. Do your research. Do a lot of research. Be very careful. Try to protect yourself from getting scammed because it is a very easy thing to get scammed on right now. On indie developers taking the lead, our shows are all geared towards showcasing developers and empowering developers to have their work shown to a wide audience. What I love about our show is that we'll have all these independent games, and that's what I mean. There are big companies, but there are also so many amazing independent developers as part of the industry and the ecosystem that I like to say. There are big companies. There are big dev companies. But there are also amazing independent developers. He's like, there are big companies out there. He didn't give them any kind of adjective to be like good or he's like, there are big companies. There are so many amazing and independent developers, and there are, as part of the industry and the ecosystem. I think it's really positive that a lot of developers now can leave a big company, start their own studio, and be very successful on their own. Pretty good article there. I like Jeff. Everything I know about the guy, he seems very, very passionate about gaming, and I like a lot of what he said about gaming. So cool. This Sonic the Hedgehog themed gaming kit has got to go fast into the trash. I spent $60 on a Sonic the Hedgehog gaming peripheral, and I regret it so much. I mean, he looks like he's enjoying it, or she. This looks like it's enjoying it. When PC Gamer senior editor Wes Finland pointed out that Walmart is selling a Sonic the Hedgehog themed 3-in-1 gaming kit, I felt obligated as a journalist to put it in an order faster than Sonic can eat a chili dog. It includes a mouse, mechanical keyboard, and gaming headset. Each covered in classic Sonic blue, white, and red. Keyboard and mouse include RGB lighting. The lights in the keyboard crapped out after 10 minutes. Have yet to turn back on. I know what you're thinking. This is clearly made for children and not weirdo adult Sonic fans. To that, I respond, then why is there a picture of a grown man raising his fist in success on the box? Also, all of us as gamers are literally gamers because of our inner child, right? Like, that's most of us anyways. Yeah. That's where most of us came to find video games and grow to love video games, and will forever be a kid when it comes to video games, basically. Out of all my years reviewing PC gaming hardware, this gaming kit is by far one of the worst things I ever plugged into my personal computer. I wouldn't even give this to a kid I hated. Oh, dude. Yep. There you go. Well, this isn't I mean, I think the big thing to take into consideration here is like, wait, is this actually developed by Walmart? Who manufactures this thing? Look, I mean, if you're actually going to Walmart and buying something that's not a well-known name brand, who makes this? Does it even say? It's not Logitech. This is a comparison. I mean, I gotta say, like, if you're going to Walmart to buy gaming peripherals, hardware, and you're actually purchasing something that is not developed by a well-known, solid manufacturer in the industry, you're probably just going to get yourself into this situation here. But I wanted to bring it up anyways, and there were some pretty funny sentiments in there, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to, I'll give it to you. You guys can take a look, but I knew what this was going to be. It was just going to be for a couple of laughs, and I got what I wanted. Rockstar Games website goes dark, sending GTA 6 fans into a frenzy. The Rockstar Games website went dark this morning for a few hours alongside the GTA 5 website. Interestingly, Rockstar Games' other various websites for its other various games did not. The websites have since returned to normal, but not before they sent the Grand Theft Auto community into a frenzy with GTA 6 speculation. There's debate within the community of whether this was intentional or a mistake, but it doesn't seem to be the result of a bug, as the files of the website were manually changed in the process. Of course, the website's going pitch black is enough to kick the hornet's nest that is GTA 6 speculation. Adding fuel to the fire, though, is that something similar happened right before the reveal of GTA 5. In other words, there's a chance this isn't as random as it seems. Meanwhile, according to a few reliable Grand Theft Auto insiders, the next installment of the GTA series is going to be revealed this year, though the current expectation is for this to happen in the fall. So it would be pretty early to start teasing this with cryptic website shenanigans. Shenanigans! Below, you can check out what the aforementioned websites look like for several hours, courtesy of Rockstar Intel. At the moment of publishing, Rockstar Games has not addressed this speculation in any capacity. In fact, hasn't even said anything about the issue that triggered the speculation. At this point, we don't expect this to change as it would have when the websites were restored to normal. That said, if it does change, we'll be sure to update. Okay. Yeah. People are always going to try to get chatter going on about wild stuff like that. Halo Infinite Studio apologizes for offensive and hurtful word in Juneteenth cosmetic. A color palette for the Juneteenth nameplate was named after a type of great ape. .343 Industries head Bonnie Ross has apologized for the release of a Halo Infinite cosmetic intended to commemorate the end of slavery in the U.S. that included a color scheme with an offensive and hurtful name. No way, dude. The epic nameplate is called Juneteenth, named after a U.S. holiday which commemorates the end of slavery. But if players quickly noticed that a secondary color palette was available for the nameplate named Bonobo. The bonobo is a type of great ape which has an obviously racist connotation when used in reference to June. How do people continue to do stuff like this, man? Somebody's getting fired, dude. Whoever came up with this, I can't believe it made it through. Well, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, the way the world works right now, and how sensitive people can be about stuff, you've got to take that into consideration when you're doing anything that's going to be made very, like public. And obviously, I mean, it could have been an accident, but at the same time, could have not. Well, again, look, man, I completely understand that sentiment. You know what I mean? I feel like, as a whole, people tend to be a bit too. It feels like you got to walk on eggshells all the time, as it were, right? It's like anything you say can be twisted and turned into something that's like offensive. It's just wild, dude. It's wild. And it's tough to address because obviously, there are a lot of people out there that are filled with hate and often say things that they actually mean, man, which are, discriminatory or what have you, man. It's terrible. And on that front, I mean, we absolutely need to knock that stuff off and not support it. But at the same time, things like this, and it's hard to tell whether somebody actually knew what they were doing here and got this pushed all the way through without anybody else realizing what they were doing. That's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, people are so sensitive nowadays about everything, and it's hard to tell when you might, say something you didn't mean to be offensive or whatever, and anybody, it's like anything you say anymore can be taken and turned around to be offensive almost. It's really concerning, especially as like a broadcaster, content creator, and that's why I try to be very deliberate in making people understand where I'm coming from, and I elaborate quite often to a great extent to make sure that people understand exactly the ideas that I'm trying to get across. Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's, it just brings up the point of, their what comedy has been forever is, comedians are always pushing the line, right? But it's a pretty brutal thing for comedians right now because they, that's always been their play, was pushing the line and maybe stepping over it a little bit and then stepping back and but it's meant to be in fun and to get people laughing and everything and it's like being a comedian in today's age, is so difficult because it's like nobody can laugh at themselves anymore either. It's like it doesn't feel like anyways. There's obviously there's a difference between having a little bit of fun and laughing at who we are just as people and everything, right? As opposed to somebody being hateful and using hate speech. And, there's a big difference. And, man, if you can't laugh at yourself a little bit, that's a rough life, dude. As far as I'm concerned. And I mean, I laugh at myself all the time. Being as three-head as I am, dude, you have to. And, I don't know. People just don't really know how to take a joke anymore, or yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to tell sometimes too, though, with as gray as these areas are, and like this right here. I mean, was this an actual oversight, or was this somebody within that actually tried to do this maliciously and got it pushed through because nobody else in the company knew what was happening? It's hard to tell, man. It's a weird. Today is weird. Like modern world. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to navigate your way through these issues. 343 quickly renamed the palette to Freedom. YouTuber Sean W said it was the fastest fix he'd ever seen, and Ross issued a brief but unreserved apology on Twitter. We were made aware of a palette option for our Juneteenth emblem that contained a term that was offensive and hurtful. The team immediately addressed this issue via an update, she tweeted. We are a studio and franchise that is committed to inclusivity, where everyone is welcome and supported to be their true self. On behalf of 343, I apologize for making a celebrated moment a hurtful moment. Ross didn't comment on how the name ended up attached to the cosmetic in the first place, but 343 senior community manager John Junisic said it was a reference to an internal tool set. An image of the software was posted by streamer Mint Blitz, while Kotaku said it was an asset editing program in use at 343. The program was apparently not used for Halo Infinite development, but is widely known and popular among employees at the studio. Huh. Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of potentials there, right? Possibility, I mean, again, ultimately, I think on the side of the dev, anybody that's going to be doing anything that's going to be a very public, you know what I mean? You just got to be very, very diligent in taking a stance of making sure that you're checking and double checking anything within your game or your entertainment or whatever to ensure that there is no potential there for something to be even if it wasn't meant to be malicious, to where it could potentially be misconstrued as being a hateful, offensive kind of situation, right? It's just tough though too. That's a very tough thing to do. Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? It's so easy for things that some people and I mean, quite possibly, just the same as it could have been a malicious thing on the part of whoever named it that. At the same time, it could have just been them coming across that name at some point and they didn't know what it actually meant. You know what I mean? There are things like that, like, they came across that name at one point or something and they just, it stuck with them, and then so they used it. They had no idea what it was actually in reference to. That's absolutely a possibility in the world. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's hard to address. The possibility that the name was used as an unthinking placeholder doesn't seem unreasonable. The explanation didn't hold water with everyone. Optic gaming player Brad APG Laws, for instance, pointed out that the name presumably had to pass through multiple layers of approval at the studio, right? None of which flagged it as offensive. Well, dude, if I saw that name, look, that's what I'm trying to get across is like, what was the name of it? Bonobo? Dude, I'm not going to see Bonobo and go, that's going to be offensive to people. You know what I mean? I mean, I will absolutely attest to the fact that I'm not going to see a name like Bonobo and go, I know what that is. And that's offensive. Right? And I think there are a lot of other people in the same situation as me, right? Oh, there's also a popular artist going by the name of Bonobo. See, I mean, it could be a reference to multiple things, but of course, I mean, it's tough, dude. It's tough. Some fans in the Halo subreddit expressed similar skepticism, shared theories about the origin of the name that ranged from organized conspiracy to simple neglect. Whatever the reason, Halo Infinite creative head Joseph Staten also apologized for the use of the name, calling it inexcusable. God, it's so difficult to tell, right? I mean, hopefully they narrow it down in-house and find out if this was actually something malicious or if it was just circumstance of somebody not knowing, or a lot of people not knowing what that name stood for, you know, in that respect. That's tough, dude. It really is. I mean, obviously, for anybody that was offended by it, if it was meant as malicious, that sucks. You know what I mean? But there's so many instances of this nowadays where a term is used and not necessarily known that it stands for, because so many words stand for so many different things, and it wouldn't be the first time that a term was used that other people potentially found offensive as kind of hate speech, discriminatory speech, or used that way whenever other people had no idea it could be used that way, right? I mean, it's rough, dude. It's very, very tough to navigate this like space. Pixelworks technology empowers One Piece fighting path to advance visual experience of mobile gaming. Shanghai today, a leading provider of visual processing solutions today, announced that the latest release of One Piece Fighting Path, published in mainland China by ByteDance's game studio Nuverse and CMGE Group, has integrated Pixelworks' rendering accelerator SDK to significantly enhance the visual quality for mobile gaming. Coupled with Pixelworks' X7 visual processor, the rendering accelerator works as a bridge to deliver high frame rate game content precisely and efficiently onto mobile devices. One Piece Fighting Path is the first mobile game to leverage a collaborative effort between content providers and mobile devices to jointly improve the visual experience, marking an important milestone in the development of the gaming ecosystem comprised of content providers, game engine platforms, and smartphone manufacturers. Underpinned by Pixelworks SDK and advanced visual processing technology, the frame rate of mobile games can be increased by up to 4 times from the original content when simultaneously achieving low power consumption. That's great. As benchmarked for action role-playing game, mobile games based on industry-renowned manga series intellectual property One Piece Fighting Path has received great attention following its initial release. The game has achieved around 610,000 reviews and a rating of 4.95 out of 5 in App Store, as well as 24,000 reviews and a rating of 7.5 out of 10 from TapTap, which stands out among all One Piece IP licensed mobile games. With accurate reproduction of the main plot from the original animation and well-designed tasks embedded in the subplots of the game, users can enjoy a more fantastic One Piece world with friends, and again become inspired by the spirit of adventure for pursuing courage, friendship, vitality, and dreams. Pixelworks' development and introduction of innovative solutions in the field of advanced visual display serve as a bridge to build a game ecosystem with game content providers, game publishing and production studios, game engine platforms, and smartphone manufacturers. Through recent joint efforts, it is now possible to optimize the visual display of mobile game across the entire lifecycle from production to display. The integration of Pixelworks' rendering accelerator allows motion vectors to be generated directly from the game content. Coupled together with Pixelworks' X7 visual processor, the solution provides users with a choice of 2 modes for frame rate optimization, both of which ensure a silky smooth visual quality and effectively reduce power consumption. The low power 120 frames per second mode is designed to boost low frame rate games to high frame rate in seconds with low power consumption, while the premium picture quality 120 frame per second mode makes high frame rate games run more stable and consume less power. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, Psych. I agree with your last statement. I know, man. I know. Again, I think there's something to be said for people to just take a step back and not automatically get bent out of shape about anything that has the potential. Take a hard look at it and see if it's something that was actually meant to be, before just automatically going straight to, oh, well, that was malicious, without even knowing if it was or not, Again, there's no place for any kind of discriminatory hate speech, whatever. There's no place for it, man. Obviously, that's how I feel. I mean, that's what this community is. But people are so quick to take anything they can, find a way to turn it into something that is offensive, and to just run with it. Just run with it and be like, I can't believe you did that, even though it might not have been meant to be offensive in the first place, right? Lots of quotes. Pixelworks provides industry-leading content creation, video delivery, and display processing solutions and technology that enable highly authentic viewing experiences with superior visual quality across all screens, from cinema to smartphone and beyond. The company has more than 20 years of history delivering image processing innovation to leading providers of consumer electronics, professional displays, and video streaming services. That actually sounds like a really clutch piece of technology they're incorporating, especially for mobile devices in gaming. That's great. Higher frames, lower power consumption. If you've ever had a phone, I remember having phones in the past, man, that doing different kinds of graphic intensive things on them, whether it be playing a game or whatever, man, they would heat up like that, and it's not good. That's not good. So this is good. That's good stuff. Take a drink. La la la. All right, I think we're good. My throat's getting scratchy. Xbox sends gamer message telling them how to talk to crisis counselor. And Xbox, let's see this. The National Alliance on Mental Illness reports that 1 out of every 5 adults will experience some form of mental health condition. And Xbox knows that gamers are not immune to this, which is why they teamed up with Crisis Text Line in 2018 to connect customers that experience tough gaming situations to certified crisis counselors. More than just a way to prevent and combat gamer rage, this effort from Xbox hopes to create a safe space for gamers to deal with any tough situation that arises in any virtual gaming arena. The Crisis Text Line responds to users that reach out asking for assistance or resources to help deal with a particular mental health related issue, but it doesn't stop there. Xbox gamers can report different behaviors to the Crisis Text Line, such as harassment or bullying, and they can receive a number to contact to be put in touch with a crisis counselor. In the case of Redditor Ben35832, though, it seems that a different user may have contacted the Crisis Text Line to report that Ben35832 may be going through a tough situation or having a difficult experience with something. They received a message from Xbox giving them the number they can text in order to be connected to an officially certified crisis counselor that will be able to help them through whatever tough time they may be having. They are also assured that the conversation will be totally confidential, which is an important aspect of tough dialogue surrounding mental health issues. Though it isn't clear why Ben received this message, as they titled the post with, "I'm not sad," Xbox does seem to be making an effort to reach out to people who either directly or indirectly report they may need help. Unfortunately, the gaming world is riddled with toxic online gaming environments, full of people that are too focused on winning to realize how badly they are putting other players down or how damaging their words and insults can be. Absolutely. Online multiplayer gaming can be a wonderful platform to bring gamers of all walks of life together for a common purpose, to engage with games safely, securely, and at the same time enjoying the gaming experience. Regrettably, this doesn't always happen, as the toxic environments can breed a myriad of negative emotions in players that are trying to simply play some games. It is true that many may see Xbox's messages that connect players to the Crisis text line as an intrusion. It seems that the company's heart is in the right place and sincerely wishes to provide help to gamers that reach out and ask for it. I think that's a good thing. Again, I've talked about this quite often. I have experienced some very, very hateful, toxic things in games. And there's a difference between trolling somebody out in a very competitive way and it crossing that line into being actually, vomiting hate speech at people that can truly affect their mental space, their mental well-being. And that's why I always try to encourage people when you are on these online communities, these gaming environments, things like that, where you might come across somebody that is just very, very nasty, engaging in hate speech, being discriminatory. There are some nasty people out there, man, and I encourage everybody to do everything they can to get those types of people banned out of those communities. I deal with it fine. It sucks experiencing it. I deal with it okay. The main thing for me is taking a stance of trying to get those people out because I don't want other people to have to see some of the things that I have seen in gaming because I know that it can affect people and I don't want them to have to deal with that. So I feel like Xbox is doing a good thing here. Look, if you're interested, there's the link to this article. We also have, I have this bookmarked as well. There's an actual games and online harassment hotline that you can text, and if you're interested in that as well, it's not a bad thing just to stick on your bookmarks of your browser or whatever, just in case. Not that you might not necessarily need it, but you might come across somebody else that might need it, right? So, I think it's good that these kinds of things are popping up. This one is U.S. only, okay? So be aware of that. But I'm sure there are many other ones that we can find out about and try to help each other with. So I think it's a good thing to have a support system there. Last article for the day. If anybody has anything else they want to bring up and discuss before we move on to Valheim play, then let me know in chat. Cool. PS Plus users surprised with one of the best PS1 games of all time. PS Plus users have been surprised with one of the best PS1 games of all time, courtesy of PS Plus Premium. Many PS1 games don't hold up in 2022. It was an awkward stage for game development as the industry slowly transitioned from 2D to 3D. The games that hold up from that era are typically the 2D titles. However, there are some 3D games that hold up, especially from certain genres like horror games. For example, the original Resident Evil still holds up, even if it has some very wonky controls, and it's this game that has been stealth released via PS Plus Premium where it's free. The original Resident Evil game, I watched somebody play it whenever I was young, and it scared the crap out of me. Now you go back and look at it, and it's like, wow, that's not that scary. But dude, at the time, Resident Evil was the epitome of like horror game genre. To enable this, Capcom had to stealth release the game in general via PS4 and PS5. However, if you don't have PS Plus Premium, the game, which is the director's cut version, is going to cost you $10. RE debuted back in '96, creating a series of the same name in the process. Yeah, as you may know, Resident Evil is the biggest horror game series to date and one of the biggest video game series of all time across the board. At the time of release, the original game garnered a 91 on Metacritic and sold very well. Oh, really, gamer? What are they? What's the price for it? Is it the one that includes all the DLC and everything too? 30? I don't know, man. You got so many games to play right now for free, dude. uh, Still need to finish one. You're talking about Divinity 1? This title has been converted from the PlayStation version to the PS4, PS5 consoles. It provides newly added features. Consequently, there may be times where the title plays differently from the original PlayStation version, or where some features may cause the title to not function properly. This version does not support the PlayStation console's peripherals, therefore some functionality may not be available. That's a quote. All right, so there you go, guys. Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. Hate gaming? No, you don't. That's blasphemy right there, dude. I know you don't. You love gaming. You love gaming, dude. Yo, that's it for the news segment today. Thanks to everybody that's part of the segment today, who's always part of what we do here and part of this community. I appreciate you guys so very much. If you are checking this out as VOD on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, then do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment so we can have some discussion regarding some of these topics we went over today, okay? Also see what you might be able to do about coming and hanging out with us at 6 a.m. CST every single day, where we start up our stream with the news segments before we hop into our gaming stuff, okay? Other than that, just everybody stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow for June 17th edition of Video Gaming News, okay?